Now, severe weather summer threats. All this week, we're looking at summer weather risks to help you stay prepared just in case.
We're showing you how we track weather and alert you to severe storms before we get hit.
And when severe weather hits, there may be times when it's unsafe to stay in your home, school, or even workplace.
Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca is here now. And Tony, today we've been talking about the evacuation routes set up here in Rhode Island to bring residents to higher ground in the event of major flooding from a hurricane. So what's the last time we actually ordered evacuations here?
It's fairly recent. We go back to 2012, Superstorm Sandy, with the mandatory evacuations, with the storm making landfall across the mid-Atlantic states. So places like Narragansett, Bristol, Bristolly, South Kingstown, residents in low-lying areas all ordered to evacuate during that time. Now, here in Rhode Island, evacuations are ordered by town managers and the state's emergency management in the event that storms will impact cities and towns statewide. Now, there are 21 communities in Rhode Island that have mapped out routes in the event hurricane flooding forces residents to leave their homes. Now, coming up new at 5:30, we wanted to see just how easy it was for Rhode Island's evacuation routes to be handled. So meteorologist Pete Mangione took a ride, hit the roads, and put those evacuation routes to the test. And he will check that out coming up tonight at 5:30.
Now, severe weather summer threats. All this week, we're looking at summer weather risks to help you stay prepared just in case. Now, there may come a time when it's unsafe to stay in your home, school, or workplace during severe weather.
And in 2006, emergency management officials set up hurricane evacuation routes to help direct people away from low-lying areas. And we wanted to see just how easy the routes are to follow. So meteorologist Pete Mangione put them to the test.
We're here in Barrington at the beach. This town is one of 21 communities with an evacuation route. In the case of a direct hit from just a Category 1 or Category 2 storm, this area would have to be evacuated. We're going to hop in the car to see where the evacuation route takes us. We have all seen the evacuation route signs. There are actually about 1,000 signs in Rhode Island guiding you through many different routes. REMA Director Peter Gaynor says the routes are based on studies that examine both potential storm impacts and traffic patterns.
Our evacuation routes are based on two scenarios. So we have a evacuation zone A, which is based on a Category 1 and Category 2 hurricane. And then there's evacuation zone B, which is based on a Category 3 and Category 4. The signs were visible and clearly marked, although it would be easy to miss one or two during a stressful storm evacuation. That's why Gaynor recommends you study an evacuation map before a storm threatens. The route brought us here to East Providence High School, which would actually serve as a shelter during a storm. Now, not all routes will bring you to a shelter. The most important part is they'll take you to higher ground, away from the most dangerous part of a hurricane. That's the storm surge. Storm surge is the rise in water and resultant flooding produced by the winds of a hurricane. What might surprise you is that Pawtucket has an evacuation route. Its proximity to the Seekonk River makes certain areas, like Seekonk River Park, prone to storm surge as well. We're here in Cranston, a city known for street flooding during heavy rain. It is also susceptible to storm surge flooding, especially in low-lying sections off of Narragansett Bay. You might imagine this route from Cranston becoming congested during an emergency. That's why local officials are careful who they ask to evacuate. They'll determine within some reason what parts of the community need to evacuate and what parts of the community can safely stay in their homes. So there's a balance. It appears we're now at the end of the route. So unlike the route in Barrington, this one doesn't end at any particular point or shelter. We actually ended up here on I-95, just heading through Providence, heading up to higher ground. Gaynor tells me that the evacuation routes can be miles long, but they will never actually take you out of Rhode Island. So you can take shelter with friends and family. I'm meteorologist Pete Mangione, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Pete. And coming up new tonight at 6, we'll tell you more about how Rhode Island has actually been home to evacuees from other states hit by severe weather. And for more on the dangers severe summer weather can bring and how you can stay safe, please stay tuned to Eyewitness News for our in-depth coverage all evening long.
You can also head to our website right now to learn more about severe weather summer threats. That's where you'll find evacuation maps, a guide to get storm ready, along with the Pinpoint Weather Team's daily weather blog. It's all on WPRI.com.